Hello, Light Menders, recording here from another exotic Airbnb location. Our family travels a lot. This is Surviving the Holidays. Ask me anything. And I'm here to answer your burning questions about holiday trauma triggers. In other words, the holidays themselves remind you of a trauma because something awful happened around the time of the holidays, death of a loved one, abuse, so on and so forth. So trigger warning, this is a conversation about triggers. And so we're going to be talking about abuse. We're going to be talking about loss. We're going to be talking about suicidal ideation and thoughts. But my hope is that this video helps you these next few weeks, because the holidays are a wonderful, joyous time for a lot of people, and they're a very sad, lonely time for other people, and they're bittersweet for still more, right? And so Alicia and I want to do what we can to help you through this. And to that end, we've got a course on our membership site called Surviving and Thriving During the Holidays, where we go a bit deeper, but we also wanted to give you something just here on YouTube where we're giving out as much good advice as we can. So right out of the gate, as a student, my greatest challenge is to deal with the silence and voidness I feel on the holidays. Whenever I'm not listening to anyone or to any sort of sound, my brain starts thinking suicidal and all the regrets and mistakes and past trauma I'm carrying inside me up until now. First of all, if you're feeling suicidal, if you're having those thoughts or thoughts of self-harm, that is the top priority. That is the most urgent thing. Get support by calling the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is right here. And then we're going to have in the description links for international numbers as well if you're outside of the United States. Maybe some of you can relate to this, right? You feel the need to distract yourselves with all the pretty lights and the Christmas movies and the Christmas songs and whatever the holidays may be for you. Guys, okay, I celebrate Christmas. I'm going to alternate Christmas and holidays. Some of you don't celebrate Christmas. I honor that, but it's just going to come out of me free flowing, okay? But it could be Hanukkah, it could be solstice, it could be Festivus, whatever it is. So I'm just saying that. But I get it. You're reminded of past failures or what you perceive as past failures, relationships that didn't work out, having your heart broken, breaking someone else's heart and feeling guilty about it, being abused, being poor, starving, living in a violent area, living in a place where there's not peace, losing someone you care about, and many, many other things happen around the holidays. And distracting yourself makes total sense, right? You're trying to listen to somebody or to drown it out because if you're alone with your thoughts, all of this comes up. There's a book I read earlier this year called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And in that book, Dr. Susan Jeffers says that behind every fear, at the root of every possible fear that we have, is one single solitary thought. And when I read that, I'm like, no, there's no way it all links just to one thing, but it does. And here's that one thing. Here's that one thought. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I feel ill-equipped. I feel like I don't have the know-how or the experience. I feel like I'm worn out and exhausted, even if I do know what to do. I feel overwhelmed. I feel beaten down. I feel stepped on. I feel like this is going to consume me and I'm just going to make things worse, or some variation of these thoughts. Nevertheless, it all comes down to this fear: I can't handle this. If you're avoiding being alone with your thoughts because you don't want to be triggered, the question to ask yourself is, okay, what's going to empower me and support me in facing whatever this is? So if it's counseling, if it's meeting with a counselor and talking through things and gaining new tools and gaining new abilities and gaining new insights, do that. If it's taking steps and measures to feel physically safe, do that. If it's practicing self-soothing skills and exercises in order to regulate your sympathetic response, right? Slow down your heart rate, slow down your breathing, release muscle tension, and feel at peace, do that. If you have to learn a new set of skills or surround yourself with people who help you to feel safe, then do that. You talk about regrets and mistakes and traumas, and there's probably some overlap between those, but they are not all the same thing. When it comes to managing regrets, mistakes, nothing is a failure if you learn from it. And I mean nothing, no matter how harsh the lesson. If you learn, if you grow, if you can make changes, if you can be more compassionate and empathetic, then that's a win, whatever it is. And if it's actual trauma, work with a trauma counselor. And this is where I say, if you don't get help with us, get help somewhere, right? But we do have trauma counselors who are trained and who are able to guide you through this. We do have a whole program, our innate healing program, a series of lessons that you take in conjunction with counseling to help guide you through this. We have a membership site if you can't afford counseling, where we do online video courses, live Q&As, podcasts, and where we give you lots and lots of information of what we would teach you in therapy. And that's just what we offer. So Mended Light may be the best fit for you. And if it's not, find someone or something that is the best fit for you to guide you through this. My challenge is finding a way to enjoy Christmas, even though the music, decorations, and traditions call up memories of difficult times and sometimes send me into panic attacks. I've always thought that if I found a way to reframe the holiday or put a spin on traditions, that would help, but I'm fresh out of ideas on how to apply that. Here's where we go to something you may have learned about in school, Pavlov and his dogs, right? The associations that we create in our minds and how to undo them. So for those of you who don't know, Pavlov was a scientist, one of the forerunners of psychology, and he had a group of dogs that would salivate when they were being fed, right? Because that's their natural response to food, is to salivate. Oh boy, it's the food. And then he started doing something. He'd ring a bell. And he'd observe, and he'd ring a bell, and he'd observe, and he showed that when he rung the bell, they would not salivate. It's just a bell. It's neutral. The brain didn't associate the bell with anything. But then he would ring the bell and feed them. He'd ring the bell and feed them. He'd ring the bell and feed them, and their brains associated the bell with feeding time. And now he could get them to salivate just by ringing the bell, whether he gave them food or not. And then he not stopped feeding them, but stopped feeding them with the bell, and they'd hear the bell but no food, hear the bell and no food, and their brain would disassociate the bell with food. Now, what does this have to do with your situation? Well, Christmas is neutral. I mean, for a lot of people, it's positive, but it's lights, it's songs, it's gingerbread houses, right? It's Elf on TV, it's stockings, it's presents, it's trees, whatever. But your brain, instead of having a positive association, has a negative one. You say that Christmas traditions bring up memories of difficult times. First of all, I'm sorry. Whatever it is that you're describing, and those of you who are listening, you probably have something very specific in mind for this. I'm sorry that something beautiful for a lot of people is sad, hurtful, painful, causes anxiety, panic, and fear in you. You have anxiety, panic, and fear around trauma, right? That's like the salivating to the food. It's the natural response. The bell is like Christmas. The bell rings and they salivate. Christmas for you, you see the trees, you hear the music. Your conditioned response and your mental association is fear and panic. Honestly, by creating new associations, and you're fresh out of ideas on how, start small. Start small. Do something holiday-ish. Feel the fear and self-soothe. Breathe. Draw boxes as you breathe in for 5, hold, out for 5, hold. Slow down your heart rate. Slow down your breathing. Relax your muscles. And as you feel that fear pass through you and feel yourself overcome it and feel yourself be in control of it, do something small, right? Drink a glass of eggnog, listen to one Christmas song, right? Whatever it is. And allow your brain to associate that with peace and feeling at peace and peaceful. Do that over and over. Recognize that for a while, you're still going to feel anxiety, maybe even panic. But as you self-soothe by breathing or by drinking tea or breathing in essential oils or whatever it is that soothes you, talking to a friend, as you build a positive association with this Christmas tradition, with this holiday tradition, then your brain starts to undo, just like Pavlov and the dogs, just like the dogs stopped associating the bell with the food. Your brain can stop associating holidays with trauma. Don't go big. The issue may be in part that you're trying to do what everyone else is doing at the pace that everyone else is doing it, and it's too overwhelming. And there's no chance for you to build positive associations because you spend so much time in fear and panic. So start small. Don't worry that it's going to take a while. Work through it throughout the month. And then do it again next year. And over time, you'll see that these associations will start to be positive. If you need the help of a skilled counselor during this process, go to mendedlight.com and meet with a member of our team. Or if you don't get help from us, get help somewhere. I'm going to do a couple more, but we've got a much longer course on this in our membership site, and I'm going to rattle through what questions we address on this subject in that course. The course is called Surviving and Thriving During the Holidays. So if you feel like you could use the added support, click on the link in the description or right here and get started with that.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Next, I'm regularly triggered because my home is currently toxic. At Christmas, there's so much pressure to be like other families that we end up lashing out at each other in very hurtful ways. How can I make it through the next month? First thing I'm going to ask you to do is to focus on something called radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is what to do when you are in a situation that you cannot immediately change, that you cannot get out of. So what do you do with your time and with your energy? A lot of people spend time feeling hurt, frustrated, overwhelmed, scared, anxious. And these are all okay things to feel. These are human emotions. We don't want to get stuck there, stuck in that lane. We need to feel them and then move to something productive. And what's productive? Well, what's productive is focusing your energy on the things you can control. Because you can't control where you're living at the moment, or who you're living with, or how they act. You can, however, decide how you're going to respond. You can decide how you're going to be. You're going to look and see if there's people within your home that you can forgive. You're going to decide whether or not to do what you can to change the environment of the home by acting differently than the others are acting. If they're being unkind or cruel or hurtful, if you repay their unkindness with kindness, their disrespect with respect, if you model accountability for them when they themselves struggle with it, every single person in a home contributes to the energy. Now, I'm not saying you're equally responsible. If your family members are abusive, that's a whole other class entirely. Do you need to call the police? Do you need to file a report? Do you need to go stay with other relatives? Do you need to go stay with other friends? What do you need to do to change your situation? And if you can't change your situation, change here and here. A lot of people escape reading good books, or they read books on resilience and relationships and emotional health and wellness. Radical Love by Zachary Levi is a great book about overcoming the scars of an abusive home. Same thing with Real Love and Post-Childhood Stress Disorder. And these are both books, by the way, that we talk about in our podcast on our membership site. Most of all, get help and support if you can. And if you don't have the ability to pay for it, there are free resources in your community, and there are free resources online. This YouTube channel is a free resource. I mean, I know I talk a lot about the other services that we offer, but the fact is we provide this YouTube channel so that people who can't afford anything else have something. We're trying to give you things that will actually help you. Folks, these are just some of the ideas that I've come up with right now. What advice do you have for these good people who submitted these questions and they're struggling with surviving the holidays? Let us know in the comments below if you've experienced any of these things or are currently going through them. What has helped you? What questions do you have for one another? Sound off in the comments below and be there for each other. Our Mended Light community is very, very healing. If you'd like to dive deeper with Alicia and I and take our Surviving and Thriving During the Holidays video course, you can do that at our membership site, which is 50% off right now for a monthly membership. A link is right here. In that course, we've got a lesson on trauma triggers where we address the following questions. How do I deal with emotional flashbacks from childhood PTSD? That was the time of year my abuser had most access to me. I want to reclaim the season as something positive. We lost my mother a couple of years ago just before Christmas. My sister and my mom hadn't talked in years before her death, and I still can't talk to my sister about it. It doesn't feel right to be happy on those days. How do I deal with anger and resentment towards my parents because of my dad's physical and mental abuse towards me and my siblings, and that my mom sided with him despite everything? So those are the questions that Alicia and I deep dive in on our Surviving and Thriving During the Holidays course, which, depending on when you're watching this, is coming very soon, or you can take it right now on our membership site. The link is right here and in the comments below. As always, folks, keep shining. We need your light.